You just said, always go uber negative. One of these two hosts on this show has bet the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year. John, have you?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Oh,
No.
You know who that leaves? That would leave me. I bet the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year. But somehow, in the estimation of Steven Jackson, I am, quote unquote, always uber negative. You got your Mag guys here on Birds 365, McMullen and McDonald. Still got an hour and change to play to get today. Coming up in less than 25 minutes from now, Chris Landry from LandryFootball.com, former NFL coach, scout, done a lot of things inside the league, and is one of the better film breakdown guys that we get on. He's always got good opinions on what guys can and can't get done when they get on the field. So, Johnny Mac, I want to pick up with you with what the Eagles can and can't get done on special teams.
Hey, real quick, before we get into that, Jody, I just want to Bill Polian, Ron Wolf, Jerry Jones is in, but not for that reason.
Although he is the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know it, I know it, and
yes,
Jerry will let anybody who wants to ask it.
That's why I say his name, but he's in it for different reasons. Bobby Beathard, and then Gil Brandt, if you want to consider him as well.
So, discounting Jerry, that's 4?
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Howie Roseman's going to be the 5th? No, there'd be a guy or two.
There's a backlog. There's a backlog you got to get through.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
And for some reason, they didn't update their site. I don't remember. I don't think anybody was in the past couple of years, but
no, I think
those are the 4 I know.
I think Vermeil was the only quote unquote contributor who got in this year.
Yeah,
as a coach.
4.
Yeah, I'm not ready to elevate Howie.
There's a bit of a backlog, Jody. Bit of a backlog.
Yeah, a couple of guys who have accomplished a little bit more than Howie who haven't gotten in yet. And you and I are Howie fans because it's funny. Anytime you say anything that isn't the most uber positive about a guy, oh, you hate him. No, neither one of us hate Howie. We both like Howie. We both think Howie's good. John's got him in the top 5 GMs in the NFL. I got him in the top 10. We like Howie. Just every once in a while, somebody jumps to a level that you got to say, whoa, I'm not going that far. Like I got a tweet last night, J-Mac, when I mentioned that some people had, in my opinion, overestimated the addition of CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, if you listen to some people, it sounds like they added Brian Dawkins. Well, of course, there's a little hyperbole with that. So a guy hit me last night. Well, will you be eating crow on Birds 365 tomorrow? Because I've seen no one compare him to Brian Dawkins, Jody. What the hell are you talking about? A guy who I think you mentioned to me you want to try and get on the show. I don't remember having him on, but may have reached out. Ben Solak.
Yeah, Ben was on once. But
he was on once.
Okay. Get him on.
Yeah. Go back and check his Twitter. He had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl because of the CJ Gardner-Johnson pickup.
Yeah.
And he's a respected national writer who I think overstated the acquisition. So I didn't make this stuff up.
No. There were a lot of comparisons to Malcolm because of the Saints thing. When Kayvon Wallace came in from Clemson, people made the Brian Dawkins comparison. It's just the natural way people lean. And because Malcolm's a former corner who came in from New Orleans, I don't know why people make these comparisons, but they do. It's bizarre to me. Like I said, he's an upgrade from an athleticism standpoint, from a trait standpoint. Hopefully it works out. But yeah, I mean, people are just over the top. A lot of people. We're not making this stuff up. It's a nice trade, but now, and I'm the one who asked Nick Sirianni that question, and I'm like, which one is it with this coaching staff? I bring up the 10 days, and Nick's like brushing it off. That's why we paid Jonathan Gannon a lot of money. That's why we paid Denard Wilson a lot of money. It's not going to be a problem. It's football IQ. And meanwhile, the guy who's played safety for 7 stinking years can't pick up the defense, and he's playing the same defense, only terminology differences. Which one is it? Come
little
on.
Overstatement. And on the stream right now, here's a perfect example. Steven Jackson. Steven, how are you? Appreciate your streaming into the show. Said to me about me, nah, Jody, you're just always uber negative.
That's not true.
Always uber negative. Then a couple of people in between, he says, that's one person, Jody, meeting Ben Solak. You said people. You're in the word business. Well, if I'm in the word business, then Stephen, if you're going to comment here, I expect you to be in the word business as well. You just said, always go uber negative. One of these two hosts on this show has bet the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year. John, have you?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Oh,
No.
You know who that leaves? That would leave me. I bet the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl this year. But somehow, in the estimation of Steven Jackson, I am, quote unquote, always uber negative. Well, then why the fuck would I bet the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? Really? Come on. See, that's what gets it just.
Yeah. I mean, look, I go through this every day. I with the CJ Gardner-Johnson trade, I said it was a good trade. And then I added in the context of why it's not the best trade in the history of the world. And some people are going to take that as negative. Some people are going to like it and enjoy the context. But look, there are fans that only want cheerleaders. And I say all the time, they're easy to find. Go find them. You're not going to get them here. We're going to tell you what we think about this football team, good, bad, indifferent. If I think something is bad, I'm going to tell you it's bad. If I think something is good, I'm going to tell you it's good. I just said Howie Roseman, top 5 GM. People kill me for that. I told people, I say it all the time. After Miles Sanders' rookie season, no, he's not a superstar. Now that the tide has turned, I said, what do I say about Miles? He's a good football player. It's not his fault. You guys overrated him. He's still a good football player. The expectations were just out of whack. Yeah, I mean, context is what it's about. Not everything is great all the time. Right. Not everything is perfect.
And I've been doing this for 30 plus years, so I get it. Taking phone calls, social media, you're on the stream. We can agree to disagree. Shoot, John and I don't agree a good percentage of the time, which is perfectly fine. Just don't make it personal. Yeah, I just made it personal with Steven Jackson because what he said was stupid. I'm not always uber negative. I'm negative from time to time, like John just explained. I don't think the Eagles get everything right. If they did, they would win Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. This side of Belichick up there in New England, nobody does that in the National Football League. Nobody wins every single year. So when the Eagles get something wrong, whether it's a Howie Roseman roster move, Nick Sirianni decision on a Sunday, play calling by the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, mistakes by the players on the field, fumbles, interceptions, we're going to point them out. And that doesn't mean that we're haters. We're not haters. Neither one of us is haters. But to use John's analogy, neither one of us is cheerleaders either. We're not here to wave the pom-poms for the Philadelphia Eagles. When they do things well, when we like what they've done, when we agree with the moves they've made, we're going to give them credit. We're not haters, but we're also not cheerleaders. So just I apologize for that. That got on my nerves a little bit, the fact that people take what we say and they basically misquoted or misstated. John McMullen, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson move?
I'd give it a 7. I like the trade.
I'd go slightly. I'd probably say 7.5. Neither one of us is saying 10, but there are a percentage of the Eagle fans that think you have to go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 on every single move that Howie Roseman and or the Eagles make. If that were the case, again, we'd be getting ready for the 9th consecutive Super Bowl the Eagles are going to win. And we know that's not the case.
Yeah. And I'm with you. I get frustrated at times because, but to use the CJ trade as a perfect example, because that's the most recent one. Yeah, I got killed a lot because I said there's some issues here. I mean, and I've said it on the show numerous times already. 10 days to get ready. Nickel corner, moving the safeties. Played 80 snaps at safety. I think that's valuable information. Can he change it? Can he turn into a really good player? Sure. But again, the Eagles, this is a projection. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This is a projection by the Eagles. You know what was also a projection by the Eagles? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Jalen Reagor, players the fans don't like. And I also point out with Jalen Reagor, fans who say he doesn't try and I think that's wrong. I defend Jalen Reagor in that instance. Did he perform? No. It's fine to criticize his performance. Didn't live up to expectations. But the Eagles themselves, the Eagles drafted Jalen Reagor, right? Jalen Reagor didn't draft himself. They misevaluated. They got the projection wrong. They could get the projection wrong with CJ Gardner-Johnson. I got news for you. If he can't play safety, he can't play safety.
Right. It's all about positional change. I think he's a talented player, but is he going to fit in Gannon's system as a safety? That's what we got to see. Yet to see. All right. Back to returner. Again, with fear of being chastised for being too negative, I'm not excited about the Eagle return game right now. As the roster sits 9 days out, it's amazing that the loss of Jalen Reagor has actually lessened the return ability of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to believe that I'm saying that because Reagor wasn't all that good at it, but he did it. And they've got no one on the roster who has been a significant returner at any point in his NFL career. Are they being fair to Michael Clay right now? What do you think they're going to do? I get it. The kickoff return in the National Football League has become a much lessened of an importance because kickers just kick it out of the end zone more than anything else. But punt returns can still be pretty significant, and they don't have a punt returner on this roster right now. What is Michael Clay to do, Johnny Mac?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Have they been fair to him? Probably not from a returner standpoint. Kickoff return, as you mentioned, I don't care. I mean, they could put Kenny Gainwell back there. They could put Boston Scott back there. They could put Quez Watkins back there, who did it at the start of last season, was even worse than Jalen Reagor at it. But you're talking about 2 kickoff returns a game on average, literally. That's how many the Eagles returned, 34 last year. So they're just going to kneel down, take it at the 25, or, you get that occasional return. The punt return is a bigger issue, as you mentioned. And we'll see if they bring up Britton Covey. I don't even know if anybody can catch the football. Punt return's a little bit different than kickoff return, obviously. And you got some funky punters. That's what Bill Belichick has done for years. Always likes the left-footed punter because it comes off the foot differently. There's a different spin. And he'd get like 1-2 turnovers a year just from keeping a left-footed punter. It can be difficult. And there's no obvious choice on the current 53-man roster to be the punt returner. Kenny Gainwell started taking reps as the punt returner in practice towards the end of camp, and he did not look comfortable catching that football, Jody. Covey can catch it. I don't know if he has any explosion. He was great at in Utah at the college level. I haven't seen it here in practice or games, but I know he can catch it. Maybe it's as simple as just bringing him up before the game from the practice squad. Then they're going to be in that situation. Was it J.R. Reed years ago in Green Bay? Reno Mahe was the punt returner, and I wasn't here at the time. I heard a bunch of writers talking about it. I believe it was J.R. Reed. The Eagles went into a season. They cut Reno Mahe. They didn't have anybody to return punts. They threw him out there. He had a big muff, and Green Bay won the football game. They don't have a punt returner right now. So unless they bring Cubby up, it's going to be cross your fingers.
Let me throw one more name into the mix, and I don't know that he did any returning during the camp this year, and I can't say I remember him doing it, but I think I remember reading it. Zach Pascal, who we know the coach trusts, quote unquote, as a football player, quote unquote, he always does everything right. Catching the football on a punt would also be part of doing everything right. Is Pascal even in the mix for this as a potential returner?
If he is, he hasn't taken one rep.
Not one.
Not one. They rotate. They have quite a few guys taking punts throughout. Most of them are gone now. Catching the football in practice, not in games, but in practice. Zach did not get one rep as a punt returner in practice. Right. Now it wasn't in Cleveland, so maybe I doubt they did. They didn't do it in Miami,
if
so
they haven't done it up until that point. I doubt they did it. You're right. I just because I know the coach feels the way that he does about the player, and if you're going to use somebody, you're going to use a receiver, a running back, a D-back. You're not going to use a linebacker. You almost by press. When you have 0 punt return guys on the team, you have to eliminate guys, and you go, well, here's our 53-man roster. Who can we eliminate?
Yeah,
Zach would be one of the later eliminated guys for me. Just one.
And he has very sure hands from that perspective. So I'm just looking it up. He has returned 26 kicks in his career. He has never returned a punt.
Okay.
So
all right. So he's done kickoffs when he was in Indy.
Yeah.
Okay.
26, 14 as a rookie, 10 the next year, and then 1 and 1. So he has at least returned kickoffs. He has never returned a punt.
I just trying to think outside the box a little bit here.
I think Slay could do it. If you want to think really outside the box.
Yeah, but see, here's and this is a question you always have to put in there. Can you afford? You were quoting the Reed former Eagles thing. I'll go even further back. Before I got to Philadelphia, which was 30 years ago, Jason Sehorn, defensive back, Giants, one of the best D-backs in the National Football League. They put him back there for it was either a kickoff or punt with some kind of return. I don't remember. Broke his leg. And the Giants desperately needed him. He was their best defensive secondary guy, arguably their best defender on the entire team. And they lost him for an entire season because he got hurt. I even think it was a preseason game. If not, it was the first week of the season. It was very early in the season that he got hurt returning a kick, and he was done for the season and screwed up the entire Giant season because of it. Oh, no, I'm not risking Darius Slay. I am not putting him back there on a punt or a kick. His coverage skills far outweigh anything he can do in the return game. I'm not – what's the chance? We're talking about 1/10 of 1% that he actually gets – oh, no. And who are we talking about here? The Philadelphia, we're going to protect our guys so they don't get hurt Eagles. There's no way they're exposing
him. He might be the guy like Deshaun Jackson later in his career when he became a good receiver. When you need a home run, you might put somebody like that back there, but you're not going to do it consistently.
Right.
Yeah, ultimately, I think they just got to bring up Cubby from the practice squad and just let him catch the football, basically.
All right, Johnny Mac, I don't think you and I have ever discussed this. I don't know why we didn't discuss it last year. If we did, I forgot. I apologize. The captaincy. Eagles yesterday named 7 captains, 3 on offense.
Because it doesn't matter. It's not hockey. We're not getting the C on the sweater. But go ahead. Sorry.
I agree with you that in hockey, the captaincy is more important. But do you think it means 0? Because a couple of guys spoke on it yesterday, and they didn't make it seem like, he's the captain, so what? How much gravitas does it have in the locker room?
Darius Slay was very well. The team votes on it, so I'm not saying it's meaningless from that perspective. It's their teammates voting them as captains,
right?
So yeah, it makes them feel good, but you say, what does it matter on a percent scale? 2%. It made Darius Slay happy, and he took it as a real honor, because he's kind of a jokester. So some people don't, take him seriously in that type of matter. You got to be a leader, but he's always joking around. So he's really excited that his teammates voted him a captain. The quarterback, here's the issue. Here's the 2%. If the quarterback doesn't get voted by his teammates as a captain, then you got an issue.
Right.
Then you got an issue. That's like draft day. Bo, whatever his name is.
Bo
Callahan, not getting invited to somebody's birthday, whatever the crap that awful script was, doesn't get invited to a party, or nobody went to his birthday party.
Yes, I was going to say, shame on you, John. You don't know the storyline.
No.
Nobody went to Bo's party.
There we go. Nobody went to his birthday party. That's the giveaway. If they don't vote you as a captain, rookies are a little bit different. They might not vote a rookie, so throw that out. But if you're a veteran, and Jalen's a veteran now, even though it's only, and he was a captain last year, and he's a natural leader. You don't even worry about that.
That's why
I'm not talking about Jalen Hurts. I'm saying other teams. If you have a veteran quarterback that isn't voted captain, you got issues.
Understood. And there was never a question like that for the Eagles this year. Jalen Hurts was going to be one of the captains. Kelsey was going to be one of the captains. Lane was going to be one of the captains. I didn't know that Fletcher was guaranteed to be a captain. That's why I asked Joseph Santoliquito the question about Fletcher earlier. For me, he's a move the needle guy this year. They bring in Jordan Davis, which means he's going to play less snaps than he usually does. And that can go one or two ways. Either his production can go down because he's on the field less, or his production could go up because he's on the field less, because he's got some downtime so he can catch his breath on the sideline, come in revitalized after sitting out for a play. I don't know how it's going to go for Fletcher this way. It could really go either way. He could be better playing less, or he could be lesser playing less. It'd be a key guy as to an Eagle player to keep an eye on this year. All right, he's John McMullen. I'm Jody McDonald. Coming up next, we're going to get our bud Chris Landry from LandryFootball.com, former NFL scout, former NFL coach. He's going to hop aboard with us here on Birds 365.